Delaware needs 8 for a title. Bang!
There's the emotion.
There it is.
Boom! Jordan Richard.
Champion again.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Ashwaubenon Bowling Center in Green Bay, Wisconsin for the 4-for-3 match at the USBC Queens. Final round, Ben the Bane Davis alongside Emil Williams Jr., the voice of the PWBA, and it all comes down to this.
Ben, I got to tell you, we've waited essentially how many days? 5?
It's been a long week.
6?
Yeah, I've lost track.
7. We've got 2 in the finals, and now we will know the next 3. All you have to do in this match, and it sounds so simple, but it's not, but you simply just cannot have the lowest 3-game set. If you are not that person, you will be on to TV tomorrow to compete for a major title here at the Ashwaubenon Bowling Alley. What wonderful competitors. One lefty in this mix, Felicia Wong, the defending champion, folks, with a true opportunity to get back to television and could be the first person since 1982 to go back-to-back Queens titles. Lindsay Boomershine is in the building. Jane Sin, who finished 2nd at the Queens in 2019, looking to get back to the show again for the first time since that year. And then the young standout, Jillian Martin, the youngest to win a PWBA event that happened back in 2021. Here she is again, bowling a PWBA event, a USBC Queens, and an opportunity to make her first national televised show here on PWBA soil.
Jillian Martin, one of the heaviest hitters that we've seen, number 2 in qualifying, got sent to the elimination bracket immediately and has taken the longest route here out of anybody. But you bring up a fantastic point, Emil. Lindsay Boomershine can accomplish something that has not been done in 40 years. That is ridiculous.
It's impressive to know that she has that chance, and even more impressive to a degree that here is Jillian Martin. Again, when you drop your first round match, obviously it's possible, but the odds are not in your favor. She lost to Taylor Boltice 633 to 612. That was way back on Sunday at 9 a.m. Since then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now 7 straight wins in the contenders bracket for Martin as Felicia Wong gets us started. Wong at the top. There you see Boomershine, Jillian Martin, top right of your screen, and then Jane Sin. So just looking ahead, Wong and Martin are going to kind of finish ahead of Boomershine and Sin and maybe be able to set some numbers, if you will, and Boomershine and Sin will have to or have some opportunities potentially in the 10th frame when we get down to it in game number 3. They'll know what they have to do.
Now, my question's going to be, how does this fresh oil develop with all this action on the lanes?
It'll be kind of similar to a degree. We're going way back into qualifying. The difference is obviously the players are playing them a little bit differently, maybe with the exception of Jane Sin, who hasn't really changed her game plan much, and she doesn't have to because she's just so deadly accurate. So it'll be just the more traffic, scenario, obviously, with 4 on 1 pair. But I was talking to Team Storm's Rob Gottschall prior to the start of this one, and the pattern's been sitting, of course, for a little bit, and which helps blend the pattern overall. So I think the players won't have to waste kind of too many frames trying to help blend the pattern. One thing for Boomershine, she was in that Roto Grip gym in her previous matchup versus Verity Crawley. I mentioned the urethane situation. So urethane for Lindsay was being used to help stretch the pattern so she can stretch it, get a little bit more oil down lane so it won't be as violent on the back end. When she went to the gym, she did a little bit of that during this practice session. So she also was moving a little bit further right and keeping those moves minimal to the right as opposed to more to the left in that previous match, again, versus Crawley.
Now, all these bowlers are always ready, but important to note, Jane Sin and Felicia Wong, first cracks for them today. Do you think that time on the sidelines is going to potentially work against them a little bit?
Nah, man, I think they just, you get some opportunity. And for them, even from when we talked about the fatigue and the rest, you get to take a little time off, get off your feet for a little bit, regroup, get back into the bowling zone, whatever that is for those particular players. And it's simply like just getting ready for another event. Only this time the stakes are a little bit higher, obviously, 3 games to get to television. Felicia Wong, she's kind of the outlier in this situation because she is now into kind of uncharted territory. She's got an opportunity to do something she's never done. There could be some nerves in that situation, but I think she's ready, representing Team Canada.
Sin leaving the 10 pin. Yet to strike for her. Boomer Shine looking for her first strike of game 1. Again, the goal here is really just don't be last. Granted, being the 5 seed on the TV show is not exactly optimal, but in this moment tonight, just don't be last. And that was a ball change, I believe, from Boomer Shine. She threw the gem.
I got to catch it. I did not see it, but if she was throwing the gem, I do think she started with it. I missed frame 1, but I know that that was the plan. She had a similar plan to throw urethane in practice for about 3 to 4 minutes, try to stretch it out a little bit, and then go back to the gym and start to kind of fine-tune, if you will, her strategy. Even to a degree, I mentioned Jillian has won a title. She's the youngest. She has that record, the youngest to win a PWBA event. But she, too, trying to advance to national TV. She won on Bowl TV. And listen, hey, we love Bowl TV, right?
It's great.
But the opportunity to get to national television in this format, in this atmosphere, in a professional event, Jillian has that opportunity. How about the start from Felicia Wong? Supernova.
Front 3 covered for Wong. Martin, nice break there.
Did you see the reaction to it? That she gave a like I got away with one. Like, oh, she was kind of waving at it to hold or push, and it did.
It's wild because her ball at times seems to create these lucky breaks for her. That's one of many where going down lane you think, but then it goes, yep.
Good break there. That was we talked about the breaks, right? And Lindsay got some really good breaks in her opening game against Verity Crawley, which really helped propel. It set the tone for that match. Wong again in the Storm Nova. FYI, we just saw this Idol Pro. One of the retired pieces for SPI from Jillian Martin. Jane Sin.
Jane Sin came up short to Hope Gramley, who is, of course, the #1 seed on the TV show. 731 to 696. That's what landed her here in the 4 for 3. Felicia Wong came up short against Kelly Kulik. 667 to 628.
Oof.
Wow. There for J Mart.
Okay. Well, that's tough. Goodness gracious. Jane Sin has been in the no, I'm sorry. She's going to throw one of the 3 balls is going to be the Arsenal there, and that might be an optimum idol potentially for Felicia Wong on the right lane. But Jane Sin, DNA Coil, Attention Star, or a Phase 2, those are the 3 options. And that one certainly wasn't an Attention Star. It was either Coil or Phase 2, and it looked more like Phase 2.
First split that we've seen here tonight at the 4 for 3. Jillian Martin starting off fantastic. Felicia Wong with a good chance to make this spare, and she does. Clean. '24 USBC Queens here on Bowl TV. It's the voice of the PWBA,
The
Emil
voice.
Williams Jr. and Ben the Bane Davis.
Got them. Oof. Man.
Beautiful
I
strike.
tell you, you know what Jane told us after she won in Rockford, actually before she won. We talked to her after her getting off to such a great start, and she said she just wanted to keep it simple. You know, hit the target, and if the ball didn't work, she's going to try a different ball. Like the most simplest of strategies. And wow.
Oh,
Listen, this is going on script for Lindsey Boomershine right now, just as it did in the previous match. But I respect Jane Sin so much because of the simplicity of her game. It is going to be front to back. She is going to dare you to beat her, and she's going to play straight 95% of the time. And if you give her a front to back look, more times than not, she's going to beat you.
the simplicity.
Simplicity, man. Straighter is greater. You hear that term a lot. Oof, maybe.
Come
maybe.
on. Ow, it just rolled off under the curtain. Now, this is an interesting split here for Felicia Wong. Back-to-back splits.
She might give it a run.
Ooh, well, if there's any time to try, it is absolutely right here and right now.
Yeah, I thought so too. Front three, made a split in the fourth. Then handling the business, of course, or I should say, of getting count in the fifth frame.
Lowest score after 3 is out. Defending champ, Lindsey Boomershine, ready to go here in her 5th frame. There is quite the audience here
As there
in
always is.
Wabanon.
Yeah, absolutely. And there always is for this match too. It's it's the closest we get to like going back to qualifying in regards to pace, the amount of players on a pair, but it's still very much a 3-game match, obviously, because the format says so, like Stone Cold. But you get a little bit of difference, but you can still feel that intrigue and atmosphere in the building. Yeah, that shot says it all. The facial expression says it all right there from Jane Sin. That's a like, come on.
Yeah, give me something. Give me some of that Boomershine luck. Martin, huge backswing results in the strike.
Man, Jillian's just got all the tools, man. Yeah, things that she can do with her hand. You know, play them straighter. She can give further left, obviously, if it calls for it. At this pattern, 40 feet, 30.35 mils, been 2.33 to 1. Certainly played different and trickier as the days and matches have gone on.
Well, Martin getting out early here, leading the pack in Green Bay. Can Wong get back on track? There it is. Give her a strike.
And I think she's got, obviously, a clear advantage as the lone lefty of this 4. She's going to be out there, again, alone, understands and knows what comes from the Arsenal perspective, right, what her Arsenal moves are going to be. Like the look so far.
A split for Jane Sin.
Don't forget, we will have a Bowl TV Storm Bowling Ball giveaway. That's our final giveaway happening on Bowl TV. It's been a great week. Appreciate you all tuning in.
Boomershine. Come on.
Jillian, front 3, 9 spare strike. And now 310 here, Jane Sin. Solid.
Beautiful.
So Jane still clean through 6. Boomershine's trying to keep it that way as well. Right now, Wong's 4-10 split, the lone open of this group.
Again, the good news is you don't need to come in first. You just can't come in last.
Simple proposition.
It's the exact opposite of what Ricky Bobby would preach. Second is perfectly fine here. Wong. 7th frame. Oh. She touched it. She was dancing. Just not enough. Here's Martin again on the right lane. Ballistic missiles from Martin. Unstoppable.
Good composure, too. Again, just understanding what's at stake. Understanding the moment. Still very early. You see Felicia Wong. See that maple leaf from Canada. It's represented Canada internationally for many years. I'm sure her sister Samantha, in fact, the entire Wong family is watching. I'm sure a lot of Wichita State Shockers are watching right now as well. A former Shocker alum is Felicia Wong.
Good old Shockers.
A lot of Huskers watching, I'm sure, as well. Shine. Oh, whoa, whoa.
Jane Sin.
Whoa.
Getting a little gift from beyond the graveyard back there.
It's hard to compete with that kind of break.
And we talked about Boomershine's luck in that last game, sort of accumulating all throughout qualifying and match play. Maybe Sin's having some of that.
No love on the 10. Watch the 7-pin here. And that looks like an attention star that just went down the lane there for Jane Sin. So maybe an early switch up. Started with the coil.
Oh, there's Wong.
Optimum Idol looks good for Felicia Wong, the former Pan Am Bowling Elite Championships gold medal winner in singles 2021.
Left-handy. Elite. As Boomershine looks for the 10-pin. She gets it. We talk about her single spare shots and how good they are. She's proving it right here and right now.
I think both players there seeing maybe what could be a pin in the curtain. Back there on lane 39. Boomershine and Jillian Martin, I think, conferred to confirm one another's eyesight ability. And they were correct.
Emil, I love it when I confer to confirm.
Keep eating carrots.
The only way. Martin's just a machine right now.
Just that open hand release just allows her to do so much with the bowling ball. Someone asked about what Jillian was throwing. It's an Idol Pro.
Question for everybody in the chat. What would be the high series on the 4 for 3 match? 600 plus, 700 plus, 800 plus, or 650 to 699?
That's a good question.
.30 seconds to go. We've got 0% engagement. No one's willing to take the cake on this one.
Oof. Wow. Didn't waste any time making that ball change. Jane Sin bulldozing.
And even with some of those spare shots that she's had to make, 4 strikes and 8 frames, not too shabby for Jane Sin.
For the record, I'm going to go with 740.
I think 740 is pretty.
Oh, listen. Now, here's the deal, Ben, right? It's going to be about game 2, okay? Because now every player is off to a good start. We just watched Boomershine get off to a great start game one. Had to manage the transition on the pair. Oof, that could have been much worse for Felicia. It's obviously makeable, but in a much better position.
Here it is, Jillian Martin. Again, the old trusty ball she's been using all day long. The Idol Pro takes out the 7-10 delay. You see the celebratory fist pump. Apologies to those in the chat that tried to engage with the poll.
We're still going 740. But again, to finish that point, game two is going to be the potential difference here. She fell off that one, but how about that? Still online and still smiling.
Yeah,
There's
she's having a good
Felicia
time.
Wong. She should be, right? Because, you know, you can't allow this moment to try to wrap you up and get you out of what you're good at or get you out of the good vibes, especially all week, right? She's been smiling all weekend long.
Jane Sin keeping it clean through 9. Now here is going to be the interesting conversation, Emil. Like you mentioned, game 2 is going to be important. I agree. But outside of Jillian Martin, all of the scores are very, very close.
Well, I for one, think that's a good thing. I know that sounds crazy to say, but to me, it would mean, simply put, right, we want the best show possible, and so we're going to wait all the way to the 10th frame to get it.
Amen.
10th frame of game 3.
I don't want blowouts. I want drama. I want theater. I want to roll off. Wong takes 10.
She looks really, really solid here. Determined, looking experienced. Going places that she hasn't been in her career at this point, but the moment is here for Felicia Wong. It is hers to grab.
Ooh, Boomershine walked that one off. You know, we talk about Wong on the PWBA being in uncharted waters, but again, aforementioned success globally.
Oh yeah,
she's had those big stages before.
And right, and that experience certainly helps here. You win some gold medals, right? That type of experience helps you at the highest level of the sport here on the PWBA tour.
And you can see she's got that smirk, that charisma on top. J Mart, 10th frame. Here on the left side. Wow, I mean, just a different sound when Jillian Martin connects with the pins.
Yeah, you know what? We always talk about that with Shannon Puhalski, Stephanie Zavala, but we don't see Jillian on a full-time basis because she's not out here at that level as of yet. But as you can hear, your ears are clearly working, Ben. Martin ball sounds just a little bit different. .214 for Wong. Jillian a strike away now from getting into the 260s.
J Mart, second shot, 10th frame. Give her 10 more, Emil.
She's going to be in the 260s, and she's going to be out the gates, the leader of this group of 4.
That is a good question. Will the final be on Bowl TV for the international viewers?
The answer to that, more than likely, unless something has changed, is no. For the from the international rights perspective, we don't own the rights there.
Oh.
So I believe it would be no, as it has been in the past.
We apologize, Daryl. Boomershine starts off her 10th frame with a 9. And when you look at the complexion of the scores, that'll be one of the lower ones, as J Mart ends game 1 with a commanding 268. Felicia Wong with a 214. And all rests on Boomershine and Sin. Last few frames of game 1.
Boomershine with the spare. Nice clean game here for Lindsay. I don't think she missed the pocket. Defending champion. again, just a match away from returning to the stepladder finals. That one was a little bit right off the hand there and didn't quite stick the landing. She looked down, did Jane Sin, and so now she could be the low of the 4 as we head to game number 2.
But still very tight. I mean, these are not 20-pin differentials. This is all within a dozen or two as Boomer Shine ends with a 216.
Mentioned in the open that Lindsay went with the strategy of moving right in that previous match against Crawley, which is why she did not move away or get out of the gym in that one. And same strategy here. Again, used urethane during about the first 4 to 5 minutes of practice to help stretch the pattern for herself. And then she's just going to be, subtly moving right. Now, how right she might have to move, certainly we'll find out. Things could get iffy or tricky, but we watched her navigate that same scenario just a match ago in game 2. She'll have to do it with more traffic this time.
Final shot here for Jane Sin in game 1. Strike would be nice, but 8 isn't too terrible. 210, she does have the low score by 4 pins. Jillian Martin, 268 with a big lead, and does not look like she is going to be stopping anytime soon as we get ready for game 2.
It's an interesting concept how it always shakes out sometimes, but I think the first 5 frames for Jillian, really for everybody, as you start to get a little bit of transition happening, it's going to happen a little faster because there's more traffic.
Now, question, when should we give away this bowling ball?
I'm thinking at the top of game 3.
Top of game 3.
What do you guys think? Well, when would you like to do it?
All right, producer Patrick is telling us to do it right now. I, for one, am not opposed either way.
That's because he doesn't have patience. He lacks patience. The guy lacks patience, man.
Martin starts off game 2 with a strike, as does Felicia Wong. I think an additional factor here is how can you keep yourself pumped up? How can you keep your mentality primed and ready to go? The moment that it seeps in and doubt starts to take over, I think that's when these bowlers will lose more than anything else.
It's self-motivation, man. I mean, listen, there's a major championship show on the line. Like there's only one way to get there, right? And that's to put up the best 3-game series that you can. And if at the end of these 3 games you felt you bowled the best you could bowl, your 3-game series ultimately is not one that gets you on the show. Obviously, some disappointment, but certainly any sadness because of how you got to this position. But yeah, there's a major show, man. There's a tiara on the line, and for everyone with the exception of Jillian, I saw somebody asked about titles and such. Just like the event that she has already won, back in 2021, not officially credited there because she was not a member and still is not. However, she would have the distinction of being quote-unquote amateur, and the first sign of trouble for Jillian here, but an amateur to win the Queens. We had 2 non-members make the show 2 years ago. One of them at the time was Hope Gramley. Now she's the #1 seed 2 years later as a member.
Funny how that works. As Felicia Wong gets all 10, there's a smile from FW.
Still, I like that she's just staying and remaining loose.
J-Mart able to get that spare and cover, and again, she's got that huge built-in lead after game 1. Back-to-back strikes for Wong, and just ahead of the 2nd frame for Boomenshire and Sin. Boomer shine.
Bang. Oof.
I feel like when she locks in, there is nothing that can stop her.
No, this strategy of moving right has really paid off for her. I admire, again, what the players do on a match-to-match basis, game-to-game basis, and realistically frame-to-frame basis, managing the strategy and understanding when and what to do. High flush for Jane Sin. I heard the group chat for past Wichita State Shockers is lit
Oh.
right now.
Is it?
Oh, yeah, they're all watching Felicia Wong. Looks like a ball change for Jillian Martin.
As they should be. Big shout to the Shocker group chat.
Made the huge washout, did Martin. She leaked one right, though, down lane. So, but clearly she must have felt like, yeah, I leak one right and I don't maybe have any miss room. Wow.
Ooh. Well, that's a shock, isn't it? 7-10 for Felicia Wong. You know, there's definitely someone in Scotland or a northern European country named Boomenshire. You know, they exist. They're just not here in Green Bay.
We just need to find them. Maybe bring them out to a PWBA.
Bring them here.
And then we could get them to meet the real Lindsay Boomershot.
Yeah. Wow.
Just slightly behind the 1-3 there. Slightly. And that caused that wrap 10.
Now, is Felicia Wong going to go for it?
She's going to get some count and try to get lucky.
Early open for Felicia Wong. Boomer shine. Staying clean through 2. Nothing but net. Nice shot. 10 pin. Gone for Jason.
I think Wong was the first to open in game 1. I think it also was a 7-10, if my memory is correct.
History repeating as Boomer shine wraps right around the 10.
Now Felicia, who was or did decide to throw something different on the left lane. Certainly got that one in off the hand. 2-7.
Spare shots for Lindsay Boomershine have been on point all day long. They continue to be. 2024 USBC Queens, 6 p.m. Central Time tomorrow on CBS Sports. The 4-for-3 match to determine the last several entrants into the top 5. Excellent shot from Felicia Wong.
But she's made the 2-7 and the 3-10. Both with her plastic ball going straight at them. Pretty impressive.
Not many can do it. Felicia Wong can.
Jillian Martin's going to take a re-rack. Either she did not like maybe some of the spacing of the pins there near the pocket. Certainly the 1-3, or just needed an extra second. I'm going to go with option A. Be a big shot here for Jillian. Out the gates with 268 for just joining us. The 4-for-3. Again, the top 3 scores will advance to tomorrow's stepladder finals. They will join Hope Gramling, who is the #1 seed, and Kelly Kulick, one of the greatest of all time, has advanced to the televised stepladder finals. She too, with history on the line. Speaking of Kelly, she could become just the 3rd player to win the Queens 3 times. She already has 2.
We've touched on
maybe no
Kulick's success in Just want to reiterate once again how ridiculous it is that Kelly Kulick is still crushing it. And a second seed in a major in 2024, only one person could do it.
She's already in a small group. As Jane Sin. I was showing a little bit of situation here.
Well, Emil, what did you say? You said game 2.
Game 2 is the one.
Game 2.
Game 2 is really the transition game. And again, I think it's happening a little faster because of the amount of traffic. 4 players now on the pair as opposed to just 2.
Now, you mentioned the history Kelly Kulick can write. I believe there's only 2 people that have ever captured 3 USBC queens.
Yes, that is Millie Gnizio and Wendy McPherson. And then there's a total of,
Wow.
So close. It's a total of 8 players, including Kelly, who have won multiple Queens titles. That's Donna Adamick, Linda Barnes, Donnie Fothergill, of course, Kelly, Alita Sill, Katsuko Sugimoto, Liz Johnson, and Diana Zavyalova. And Sugimoto is the last player. Great shot there. Maybe the best, certainly, of this game for Jillian. Sugimoto, the last player to win them back-to-back, which is where Lindsay Boomershine is trying to do. So there's a few potential storylines. One for sure, including Kelly, get out of there 9. And another one, of course, potentially featuring the defending champion if she advances to the show. Final note on Kelly Kulick, she also has the highest number of runner-up finishes at the Queens with 3. So she's made a gazillion shows here at the Queens. So, I mean, if you really think about it, 01, 2009, I'm sorry, 2001, 2007, 2009, 2014, and now 2024, 10 years removed from her last Queens telecast.
That is crazy.
Bang.
That's how you get back on track from a split. J-Mart, unsurprisingly, taking the lead here in game 2. But the wagon is getting a little bit wobbly for Jane Sin and Felicia Wong.
I think that's very fair to say. That one is right, but if it hooks, Boomershine's got plenty of room. She's got area.
Put that in the oven. Crank it to 350. Leave it for 20.
Did you open the door? Well, what do we get?
Nah, burn down the house. Felicia Wong.
Oh, what a break. That's a big double.
I feel like her positivity is affecting these lanes. The Felicia Wong smiles are making the pins go down easier.
And I do think the right mindset crucial, especially in this moment, because there's a lot on the line, right? Wow, Jillian.
First split for her, I believe, this game. Here's Felicia Wong one more time.
I mean, that just inches away from being an 8-10. Thank you, replay.
J-Mart, as stated again, first split in the 4 for 3 match. We'll see how she tackles it as Boomershine looks to, wow.
And that one was left.
Right through the face.
You see, she just motioned kind of in front of her face right there. That one was left all the way. Martin takes the count. And again, Jillian has a little bit more room for error. And I'm talking about on the lanes, but just regarding score because of the early 268.
That early 268 and then her work through the front 5 was the best out of anybody. Ooh.
That's a good 3. It was trending toward 1, but count, very important there.
Yeah, 114 right now for Boomershine. At what point do you start maybe looking at this from, instead of the successes, right, who is just crushing it, who's making the most mistakes?
I think that's always in play because, you know, generally speaking, right, if there is a player that's making the most mistakes, then they start trending in the opposite direction, and then the picture becomes a bit clearer, maybe even quicker, which is why game 2 here, I think those who can limit the most mistakes, specifically in this game, and obviously as we get later into the match in game 3, will be some of the happier players, to put it lightly.
You could hear that one from a mile away. Jillian Martin bringing 10 down and getting back on track. Here's Sin for a spare.
Every player with at least one split on the docket. Max score for Jillian Martin, 246. Still 256 out there for Felicia Wong. 234 for Boomershine. Oh.
Oof. Some assistance.
Well,
Cross the T's, dot the I's, Emil.
you know, Felicia's certainly getting some very good breaks, but I do think she's in a bit of a danger zone here.
In terms of developing that left side of both lanes, how do you think she's doing?
I actually thought she would be a little further left at this point. That could have been just a miss down lane 2. So it's going to be interesting to watch how she maneuvers that side of the lane.
Boomershine. Looking to bounce back. I didn't like the sound of that one, but leaving the 7 pins quite all right.
It had split sound to it.
Yeah.
And now Boomershine, because that one kind of came roaring off the spot down lane.
All right, Felicia Wong. Can she extend to 4 in a row? Oof.
It's a great shot. It's a better shot. That one looked to be just online, on target.
Just logged in.
Oh. Is it just me, or that did not sound very good?
Something sounded off. I'm sounding something off. I'm smelling cookie dough. Emil, I might be on my way to the hospital. That's what they say, right?
That's what they say, indeed.
Jillian Martin, strike in the 7th. Jane Sin, strike in the 7th. Felicia Wong, strikes in the 7th and 8th frame. Boomershine, 9 spare. J Mart. Big opportunity right here. Whew. Chops him down. Paul Bunyan.
Just the big wheel. That's what rev rate and power will get you. Get pin carry. Ball's able to recover from places on the lane that maybe others cannot.
Boomershine. Gets back on track. She's getting a little more fired up, Emil.
Very similar hit, though, on the right lane. Right, just the 7 pin. This time she gets the carry. So, to me, there might be a very subtle move to make. It's a slight angle, and it could just be through the front part of the lane.
Sin.
That's left 2 all the way.
Wow. I feel like leaving 2 is the optimal way of that breaking out.
But that was, I mean, you just don't see her make those kind of shots very often. So that was such a bad miss. It was a good situation for her because it was going to miss the head pin, or I should say it was going to not hit the face. It was going left immediately.
J Mart, left lane. Looking for another strike here in the 9th. Oh, what?
It laid off just enough because that could have been trouble.
That pin hit the smooth criminal on her.
Would have been 4-9. Yeah, it just kind of leaned a little bit. Uh-oh. All right. Yeah, that was 7-9 was calling. I mean, it was calling. Doot. Hello. Jillian. I am the 7-9.
Well, let's see if she can make it a spare. Gets it. Doesn't even need to look. That's the kind of shot that Iguodala would have thrown.
Well, you know when you got your spares, man. Off your hand.
Felicia Wong.
That's really good there. Now that's a great shot.
Beauty.
That was a great shot. Off her hand. Up the lane. On target. You can tell she's just going to come back. Just relax. Staying in her groove. Speaking of Felicia. And she has turned 4 into 5.
And she's still staying positive. Very happy disposition.
Wow. And there's some situations here with Jane Sin. I think
Yeah.
she's either in a position where I'm not sure if she wants to make a ball change, but now she's someone who's been playing the middle of the lane all day. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, all week. And that is starting to go. So she's in a move situation.
Boomer Shine looking taxed at this stage in the game. Every shot she is, I mean, just praying for it to go her way.
Well, I mean, I think everyone at this point is fatigued, but it's, withstanding the mental fatigue, certainly the physical fatigue. And I can't really imagine what it's like, obviously, to be Lindsay, right? Because she has a legit chance to get back on the show and defend the title after spending so long, as you see the replay, after taking, so many heartbreaks in Step Ladder Finals appearances. Now, in back-to-back years, she potentially get it done at a major.
Jillian Martin not starting off the 10th frame with a strike. What I'm seeing develop here, Emil, is this third game is going to come down to Boomer Shine and Sin, I think, for the lowest spot.
It is developing in that manner, and especially if Felicia, if she throws at least the first one in the 10th, that would go a long way. Same thing with Boomer Shine, because if she throws the first one, that puts her in the 2 teens.
2024 USBC Queens here in Ashwaubenon. The tiara and $60,000 are up for grab tomorrow on CBS Sports, 6 p.m. Central Time. Tonight, the 4-for-3 match. Ben the Vein Davis alongside Emil Williams Jr., the voice of the PWBA. And we have a bowling ball to give away.
That's right. Great shot for Felicia Wong. And Felicia is coming back. What looked to be maybe the old rosin in the pocket there. Jillian made the spare. Strike to get her to 213. I think a look at what is an optimum idle.
Yeah. Takes
Kinda-
that one, 210.
Kind of an eye roll to that shot, but also said, okay, all right. And then a deep breath. There was an exhale as she was walking off the approach there. So she'll be at 478. Oh, wow.
Tough.
Well, it's okay.
Still a fantastic game.
245, because in frames 3 and 4, you just weren't quite sure. It's like, she got a couple of really good breaks and then went back to throwing it as best as she possibly could, and the results were fantastic at the end of this game. Jane Sin.
Oh.
She's in the zone right now, Ben, where if she misses left, certainly, but even throws what she believes is a good shot, it's going left. I think she tried to make a small angle adjustment. And as you look at that stone 9.
Looks like she accepted it. She knew. All right. That's what happened.
And then Jane Sin trying to, politely, if you will, give it away from the pocket a little bit. And the ball wiggles down lane. That's just not a good place to be.
Gets the spare. Jansen will have one more crack at this 10th frame as Lindsay Boomershine begins hers. She has got a 224 max. Sin not going to reach 200.
Now, best she can do is 191, and I'm guess she's going to go to the bag and give something a look.
Oh,
That's helpful.
no
That is
carry.
helpful right there for Jane Sin.
Yeah. Kind of surprising, too. It did look like one of those pins was going to snatch up the 7. But we can't have good theater without drama, Emil.
She's going to go to the DNA coil on the fill. I think that's the one ball she hadn't thrown yet. Oof. Well, that read early, but I think she might be able to work with that.
Mm.
I've learned that high-level players, would rather see friction, so at least they know where it is.
Boomershine.
191.
All right, so she'll have one more shot in game 2. Before we look ahead to the bowling ball giveaway in game 3, I want to ask, Emil, what is the suggestion to each bowler ahead of this 3rd and final game?
If you're Felicia Wong, just keep throwing good shots. She got a couple of good breaks, but I think that allowed her to just kind of settle back in. Continue to throw good shots. Again, obviously, she's her own traffic on the left side of the lane. For Jillian, it's really more of the same. I think she managed this game pretty well, made the ball changes. I don't know how much we'll read into that 3-6-10 on the fill, but we'll keep our eyes on it, keep our eyes peeled, if you will. For Lindsay Boomershine, I don't think she has done anything wrong, right, with the exception of frame 6. But this is kind of how the strategy went in the previous match against, Verity Crawley. And then Jane Sin. Now Jane is in the situation where right now she's slightly lost, right? So she's in between bowling balls, trying to figure out, what's going to be the best play. We'll see if the coil is going to be, and she might even be in a situation where she might need to throw it harder just to keep it online and get it through the heads properly.
That's maybe the usual thought is when in doubt, just chuck it. And Jill Martin starts us off strong. And talking about starting strong, Emil, we have a bowling ball to give away.
That we do. It's the last giveaway of the week. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. It's bowling ball courtesy of Storm. Thank you to all of our wonderful gold partners this week. Of course, Storm being one of the proud gold partners on the PWBA Tour. If you're in full screen, please exit full screen so you can see all of the prompts right now. Get out of full screen, again, if you are in it, so you can see the prompts. Oh, good carry there. And I'm thinking Jane Sin stuck with the ball but moved a little right. Trying to utilize that friction to her advantage.
Now, Boomershine has a 17-pin advantage, but it's really not out of the woods yet. I mean, a couple errant frames, and this swings the opposite way.
Oh, no, 17 pins is nothing.
I eat that for breakfast.
That's right. I mean, theoretically, there's still a lot that could go down. Right now, Jillian's in the lead. 478, Felicia Wong 459, Boomershine 418, and then there's Jane Sin at 401. Don't forget, submit entry. It's available.
Bowling ball is right there. You got 30 seconds left. I want to see everybody engage to get this Storm bowling ball.
Oof, 3-9. I think Lindsay is seeing some of this early hook that Jane Sin is also seeing. I think Jillian is just angle-wise a little further left than both of those players, obviously, so she can get through it, get away from it. Submit entry, folks. This is the last time.
5 seconds. Last giveaway of the 2024 USBC Queens. And it goes to Joe.
Okay, Joe. Congrats, Joe.
Let's go, Joe.
You have a Storm bowling ball. Congratulations. Please check your email. Bowl TV marketing squad will be. Oh,
Oh,
wow. will be contacting you.
Boomer Shine, a magician on that spare shot. Abracadabra, defending champ, Lindsay Boomer Shine. Jane Sin strikes. Jillian Martin strikes. Felicia Wong, 9 spare strike. And Boomer Shine, 8 spare. To kick off this third and final game here at the 4-for-3 match in Green Bay, Wisconsin, the 2024 USBC Queens Bowl TV coverage concludes tonight. We do have a pregame show, I believe, before the 6 p.m. Central Time CBS Sports TV finals. So make sure you catch that.
What a shot there. Big double early for Jillian Martin. Now, if Jane Sin can come out here and double, puts a little bug in the air of Lindsay Boomer Shine. From what I understand, that Lindsay might be dealing with a very tough ring finger.
Oh.
Talking about fatigue.
Injury.
The amount of games that pile up over the course of a match play scenario, of course, not including qualifying or practice. She came back to talk with her team Storm reps. Speaking of Boomer Shine, this kind of feels like that do or die time, especially if Jane Sin can double here.
Can't double, but certainly got away from a 7-10 split. So when you say go big, does that mean ball change? Does that mean moving left or right?
Well, I said the same thing about Lindsay's gym in the last match, and she was able to maneuver game 2 and ultimately put up a big game in game 3 to seal the deal against Verity Crawley. And the difference is now her ball simply is not hitting the way it looks like Jillian Martin, or not finishing through the pins like we saw in game 1. So this might be a bit more of a vital situation.
Oh, whoa. Open frame. Jane Sin.
No.
We were just talking about vital.
See, that type of miss right there gives Lindsay at least one more frame to try to trick the ball into doing what she wants it to do. This is some key shots here. Meanwhile, Felicia Wong on an island, doing what she wants to do.
Rinse and repeat for Felicia Wong.
Oh, yeah. Felicia Wong. Samantha Wong. Samantha Wong Howe. Stand up. The Wong family. Stand up.
It's all about the Shockers.
Shocker Nation. Stand up. Jane Sin. Can she respond? That's a good one. Wow.
Just feel like it didn't have the energy.
Her balls are just burning up.
Like the surface of the sun.
It's a
here in Green Bay.
Very intriguing scenario here. Did not anticipate what we're seeing here from Jane Sin. So again, it's giving Boomer Shine another frame to be able to work.
But this is a massive shot for Boomer Shine, because if this one doesn't work.
That's good. Oh, yeah. The whole way.
Ooh.
Off the hand.
Jelly-filled donut right there.
That one was about 9-ish, 10-ish. She hasn't strayed away. Like the times where I thought maybe she puts the ball down, gets into something that's cleaner through the front. So I think she's just utilizing some of that whole, or at least trying to, of course. That one stayed online and it was perfect. Of the 3 righties, I mean, Jillian's covering the most boards, but she's comfortable doing that. Likes to see the ball go left to right.
J. Mart up here. 4th frame.
Bang.
Walk it out, Jillian Martin.
Players just keep saying, Jillian, hey, I know you got 2 more years, Jillian. Why don't you go for your master's degree, Jillian? Keep delaying the opportunity for you to come out on tour. Oh, Felicia Wong.
Jillian, there's a PhD with your name on it, you know?
Anything to keep her away from the tour, I can tell you, because once she's out here on a regular basis, there's going to be a lot of that.
Here it is one more time.
It just doesn't get much better than that, Ben.
That's a triple layer cheesecake. Chain sin.
Okay.
Breathing a little life back into the sails.
Looks like she may have went back to the attention star there.
Might have been the move all along, right? Is change it up, get back to what was working. And now we think about between Felicia Wong and Jillian Martin, the 3-seed conversation. They're battling for that third and fourth, which I feel could be vastly important. That's a whole other game you don't have to do.
Absolutely. Also changes in the prize fund department as well.
Yeah, Boomer Shine is really moderating something on her hands. This is rough waters for the defending champ, but that's what makes her a champion. Being able to dig deep and rally.
Good shot. But again, for Felicia Wong, it's all right. Keep throwing good shots. Make your makeables at this point for both Jillian and Felicia Wong. Do not leave it to chance.
Boomer Shine gets the 7-pin. Staying clean. Midway through game 3 here at Ashwaubenon in Green Bay, Wisconsin, the 2024 USBC Queens. Emil Williams Jr., Ben the Bane Davis, producer Pat Martinez inside the booth with us.
All right.
Long will take it. Now, in terms of how that oil's developing, anything crazy that you're seeing?
No, but we just haven't seen, I think, this type of transition since qualifying, where the heads really start to go kind of quick. And because I think the extra additional traffic, especially in the middle portion of the lane, that's what we're seeing here. I just heard a breathe comment.
Yeah, a little vocal here.
In relation to Jillian. You know, we're getting closer to the end here, right? So the heart rate does start to dial up a little bit. I did miss my opportunity at the treadmill, so our heart rate has been steady.
You got time, Emil.
Great shot there. Maybe even better.
Yeah.
Than the last one.
That was beautiful. I think she saw that one, too. She held that position, watched it all the way. Waymart. Nice spare. Guess who's back? It's Chris S. from the Villages.
Back again. In the battle for the third seed, again, Jillian leads Felicia Wong by 19 pins.
Wow. Just a different energy from Jameson at this point in game 3.
She is just firmly in a balls burning up like zone where it looks like you throw it good, you're leaving 2-4-5, 2-5, 2-pin like combos. And then if you really throw it bad, right, she's completely missing. You know, ball's hooking immediately and moving left.
At what point do you either get out of that ball or drastically shift which board you're trying to aim for?
I mean, I think it'd have to be starting right now.
Yeah.
I'm quite honest with you, but I think she's thrown every ball now that she, at least that I was told that she had. Not saying that those are the only 3 balls, but I was told that she had a 3-ball look that she was going to maneuver through if necessary, and she's thrown each one of those balls, and she's made her way back to the attention star. But, you know, it's also hard to go away from something that has worked for you literally all week.
Right. Halfway point here, Game 3. Wong.
That's a major winning type shot right there. You can't throw it any cleaner than what Felicia Wong just did.
And in terms of headspace, Felicia Wong seemingly just a hair ahead everybody in the mental fortitude department. Nothing's bothering her. Oh,
All right. Never know. Still not over.
she's making Boomer Shine work for this. But at some point, you got to string strikes together. That goes for both Jane Sin and Lindsay Boomershine. Here's Boomershine, 6th frame. That's 10.
Here comes the boom.
I think Belmo might have that patented.
You don't got "Here Comes the Boom" patented. That's a whole song. He's got one word.
That's true. He's got a small percentage of it.
Great shot again for Wong. Pretty impressed again. Just look at the reactions, right? Like, still being herself. I have to imagine that's been such a vital key for her during this 3-game set. Don't get caught up in what's at stake. Just continue to bowl like you've been bowling all week.
And it's an interesting juxtaposition with Jillian Martin, who was going to say opted largely for the, just rinse and repeat, checked out type look, and just trying to check in to doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah, and everybody goes about business differently. And that's what makes the players, at the end of the day, individually unique. So how one processes certainly might be a little bit different than another. And, Jillian, generally speaking, is more or less an all-about business type of look. And you'll get an idea of how she liked the shot, if she did or if she didn't, based on the facial expressions when she turns around. Again, Martin and Wong battling for the number 3 seed. Jillian still in control in there, but Boomershine is trying to pull away.
Yeah, 259 still there for Boomershine.
From Jane Sin.
And she did have 17 pins on Jane coming into this 3rd game. Still on the board.
Trying to defend that title. Aiden, Hank, I'm sure watching. The Boomershine family.
So 238 is only available for Jane Sin.
She made a move right. And if she goes off the sheet, then you certainly be asking yourself, hey, why not make that jump sooner? But again, in the moment, it's very difficult to go away from what you have been doing and your game plan all week. Because I'm sure she went through some transition, right? And she was able to manage it just like she has done all week. And this time, just a little bit different. I think, again, going back to qualifying, the extra balls going down the lane do make a difference.
This is big for Jane Sin over on that left lane.
First the Wong. F. Wong.
Control, Alt F4, and just delete those pins, Felicia. Sin's got to give herself a fighting chance, and that includes shots unlike that.
Yep, and that might, if Boomershine strikes here, you can just start to count it.
Just a nasty split, too.
Right, and one that, most splits aren't, that makeable, obviously, but then you get a 4-6 where you really don't have much of an opportunity. But this is a situation where you have to go for it.
Absolutely. Here's Boomershine. Can she capitalize?
You bet.
That's a champ.
Wow. trying to become the first player since 1982, folks, to defend a Queens title. 1982.
40 years ago. Almost half as old as Emil.
Wow, he's just throwing the digs at me now. Hey, man, I've come around to turning 40 here in about a month. Took me a little while to get used to it, but.
Hey, like wine, man, like wine.
Oh, I'm still fine. Ain't no doubt about that, my man.
J Mart crushing the 9th frame. This has been a deeply impressive showing from her all week long, and she is just putting cherries on top here in the 4-for-3 match.
She's trying to hold off Felicia Wong, who is not letting up.
Boomer Shine, 9th frame for her. A 5-bagger would be, I would say, the nail in the coffin for Jane Sin, who's put up a great performance all week long.
That's going to do it.
Wow.
I got to tell you, I mentioned this, right? I didn't think there was a world that Jane Sin was going to miss the show just because of what she was so good at, right? And I think the very thing that I thought would make her one of the favorites in this is the thing that actually what was kind of the opposite, where she probably, and we saw a shot where she moved right, or 2 shots, I should say. The ball reaction got better. Boomer Shine staying with the gym, right? That's 2 consecutive matches to where it looked like Lindsay should get out of the bowling ball. She stayed with it, trusted her process and her strategy, and that has paid off.
So Jane Sin knocked off Liz Johnson, got through Esther Chia, took out Brianna Cote, then sent Juliana Franco to the elimination bracket, came up short to our now number 1 seed, Hope Gramley, and had the automatic entry into the 4-for-3, but she is going home.
Yep, now it is solely about seeding, and all right, Jillian 7 there, so the best she can do now is 234.
249, I think, still available.
Yeah, if she makes this. All right, so Felicia does strike, so J Mart needs to just make this spare.
Boomer Shine, being the 5th seed, though, for the TV finals, is quite interesting. Defending champ gonna have to go through the gauntlet tomorrow on CBS Sports.
Okay, spare made, 3 seed. Intact. Felicia Wong would have needed a game in the 250s to overcome Wong, or excuse me, Jillian Martin. If Jillian had missed that spare, Felicia would have needed this strike here, which she did not get either way, but it won't matter. Felicia Wong, ladies and gentlemen, her first career PWBA stepladder finals. She's following to a degree, not all the way. This is her first show, but she could make her first title of Queens, just like Lindsay Boomershine did last year.
And Boomershine could repeat history.
And she's trying to become the first player to defend the title in 40 years. Jillian Martin, of course, the youngest of these competitors, the youngest ever to win a PWBA title or event, now could win a major title.
Kelly Kulik looking for her 3rd, and Hope Gramley, our number 1 seed,
She too.
For a 2nd.
First title, and it could be a major at the Queens. And Jane Sin will not reach the stepladder finals. The last time she was at the Queens was 2019. Last time she was on tour at any point was 2019. She finished 2nd at the Queens, had an opportunity to get back to the show, and she is going to finish in 6th place.
Which is still deeply impressive, considering the dozens of athletes who came out here to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and the heavy hitters. I mean, you're talking about Liz Johnson. You're talking about Dasha Kovalova, Diana Zavialova. You know, like those are people who have been there and done that, and Jane Sint made it further than them.
I got to tell you, 7-10 for Jillian Martin, and the way she buckled down late in these matches in the contenders bracket. And again, special shout out again to Jillian. Jillian lost round 1 Sunday morning at 9 a.m. and then ran the contenders bracket, literally, from the start. Jane Sint, phenomenal work as always, but she is going to finish 6th here. Jillian Martin's going to be the number 3 seed. Felicia Wong is going to be your number 4 seed. And Lindsey Boomershine, the defending champion, back on the show with 642.
You can see here Felicia Wong and Lindsey Boomershine. Hey, there's the booth way in the back. Hey. The defending champion, looking to do what no woman has done in 40 years.
In the opening match, she will face our number 4 seed. She's making her first step ladder final in her career from Canada, Miss Felicia Wong.
The shocker, Felicia Wong, lone lefty, up here in the TV finals.
Will go on to face our number 3 seed. This was her first time competing in the USBC Queens, and she's making her first major telecast from Ohio. Jillian Martin
went all the way through the elimination bracket. Youngster Jillian
The
Martin.
winner of that match will go on to face our number 2 seed. She's a 2-time Queens champion, winning the event in 2007 and 2010. Miss Kelly Kulick.
The Hall of Fame of Hall of Fame, Kelly Kulick, going for 3.
And our number 1 seed is in her second Queens telecast in 3 years. She's our 2023 PWBA Rookie of the Year from Texas. Hope Gramley.
Hope Gramley winds up on top here at the 2024 USBC Queens.
2024 USBC Queens telecast happening tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central on CBS Sports Network. Please make sure that you come on out.
Look there from Ben Glasscock. We're getting our interview station set up.
I think that's Curtis Von Kruger. KVK.
All right, Curtis, my bad.
However, Ben Glasscock is up there.
There
He
he
is the bald one who has ruined so many fantastic shots this week and streaks. We would have had at least 12 300 games had it not been for Ben Glasscock.
This is true.
Yeah, it's a sad reality. You know, we knew he was a liability, but
All right, folks, so we are going to have a few players, or at least attempt to have a few players here on or inside the Bowl TV booth, getting some instructions for TV from Robin Graves. Boomershine back on the show. Jillian Martin making her first major telecast, first national TV telecast in a PWBA event. She has been on national television before, of course, PBA Junior, for example, and now repping hard for GBR, Go Big Red, and Nebraska. Kelly Kulick looking to become just the 3rd player to win three Queens titles. And the last time she was on a Queens telecast, speaking of Kulick, was 2014. Hope Gramley trying to win her first PWBA title and her first major at the same time, much like Lindsey Boomershine did last year. Hope is the number 1 seed. Question is for Hope, will she throw urethane? Will she be able to throw urethane on the TV show when we get to that point? Kulick will be the number 2 seed. Jillian Martin will be the 3 seed. The opening match will feature number 4 seed Felicia Wong versus number 5 seed Lindsey Boomershine. Lindsey will have to climb the ladder this time to take home the tiara. Donovan over there hanging out, handling PR this week. TV producer Jim Townsend, Jason Thomas. They're providing the instructions as well. We'll need strike songs and signatures and all types of stuff to get ready for the show. But hold on, folks. We do want to get some people.
They kind of left us a little bit high and dry.
Well, it's okay. It's okay. We will fill the time until we have at least one player available. We do want to talk to all of them. I would like to talk to every single person for a few questions. Then they also have TV interviews to do as well. So, but
a couple other things about Ash Wabanon. Great chicken tenders all week long. Some fantastic buffalo sauce. Good pan pizza. And a nice beverage selection for all ages. The adult ones, pretty good. Not that I would imbibe.
Not that you would know.
Haven't had a carb since '03.
Let me take a quick look. By the way, Ben, just a completely different role for Lindsay this week.
Yeah.
Last year, she was the #1 seed, right? And she did what Hope is going to try to do tomorrow night, and that is win one game to win the title. But now she's got to climb the ladder. Different circumstances, but she is still certainly game for the challenge.
Absolutely, and it's just one of those things where statistically you look at it and go, okay, the #5 seed, how often do they climb that ladder and do they capture the title? It is quite infrequent, but I am aware on at least the men's side of things that the #1 seed has almost the same rate where half the time the #1 seed doesn't win. So it is crazy how it shakes out. But we've got to extend a big thank you to the Bowl TV chat community just right now for tuning in and watching that. I'll say this. That was a fantastic 4-for-3 match.
It was. And the only thing you hope for, again, we were talking about it earlier, but you want it to be close getting into the third game, right? Because in some cases, and I've seen this before, where there's one player who just gets way out in front, right? So they're kind of locked into a seed, the #3 seed in this case. And then even 4 and 5 kind of get enough of a boost. And then we've had, the fourth player, just never saw the picture quite clearly. And then it ends up being, just a kind of a simple show, if you will. But this one, if Jane Sin was able to kind of figure out what the move was going to be, it looked like she moved right late. She could have jumped way in, maybe threw it at the 3-pin and tried to get some carry on a fallback. She didn't elect to do that, but who knows? But again, she's one of the best out here when she's out here. And she's got another top 10 finish at the Queens. And this won't be the last time she'll be in this position.
Absolutely.
As long as Jane Sin can make it to the United States every year, she's going to have a chance to win the Queens.
Quick look at last year's USBC Queens. It was held in Samstown Bowling Center in Las Vegas. Lindsay Boomershine won her first ever title. Again, she tries to replicate that success. That event featured 216 competitors, which is quite wild. I'm unsure what the number is for this year in terms of total amount. Felt like 216.
The competitors this week?
Mm-hmm.
That number was a little lower. This week, I think it was closer to about 180, 70, something like that, I think.
I believe it was Darren or Daryl in the chat that was once again expressing the sadness of not having the international rights, but that's okay. I'll bring Australia to you. Oi, good eye, Daryl. Here are you. This is Bowl TV. Ian Schwabenon. The voice of the PWBA. Emil Williams Jr. Ian being the Ben Davis.
That was all right.
That was serviceable. I should have done a full game with my Australian accent.
All right, so I'm understanding that we might be able to just get one player, as they've got to get people immediately ready and into their additional media and TV responsibilities. So we will be grateful with the player that we indeed get. I don't know who it's going to be as of yet, but we'll take one.
They are gravitating towards the booth, which is
a
good sign. They are coming near us. Oh, Boomershine is changing her flight right now. That is amazing. Good for her. I think I should go back into my Australian accent. I'll give you the close in the Australian accent. At the end of each round of competition, the following partners should be mentioned: the United States Bowling Congress and USBC Board, all of our gold partners, Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the USBC, I Am Bowling, powered by Logo Infusion, and Lane Talk. All the competitors. Oh.
Felicia Wong, folks. She's coming.
From all of us at Bowl TV, I'm definitely going to do the close in my Australian accent. All right, we are in the process of getting Felicia Wong into the booth. Hi. Felicia, hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Are you Ben Davis?
I am Ben Davis.
Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
And first off, I got to say, big game. I mean, this was a fantastic performance. Lone lefty out there in the 4-for-3. How did you feel?
I was shocked, actually. I was so sure that Shannon was going to make it through. You know, her look has been so good all week, and she's been throwing it fantastic. I was shocked.
Yeah.
How did I feel? I felt great because then I could set up the lane.
Yeah.
And it actually, like, it broke down even better than any of my other matches, I felt like. So, yeah, that was good.
I was greatly impressed by your ability to, after every shot, whether it was a strike or a tough split, to have the same demeanor, same smile. You know, we were talking about the yoga instructor background. Talk to us a little bit about your mentality out there and just kind of staying grounded.
Oh, my gosh. There's so much to say, and there's so many things that we could say, but the biggest thing was the feeling of feeling alive, right? And really enjoying this moment. Like, when you're bowling well, when you're in that space, you just never want it to stop. And it's so electrifying, and it's intoxicating, and it's thrilling, and you're having so much fun.
Yeah.
That, okay, I'm going to make some bad shots here and there. I'm human, right? How can I give myself grace and then move on and remember that I can make great shots, right? I can just come back and be like, oh, yeah, my body knows what to do. Just trust my body knows what to do. That was my biggest thing this whole day was like, okay. And honestly, I actually subconsciously made a move in that match against Nora Johansson based on my body, not my mind, which, as anyone who knows me knows, I'm fairly analytical and kind of an overthinker. So that was magical. Trust your body. Yeah.
There you go. And everything else is achieved. Tomorrow in the stepladder finals, walk me through what the game plan might be.
So what I've been doing is breaking down with a low surface, like a reality at a 500, right? And I play just a little bit left of where I want to play. And then I kind of point it towards the head pin so that I create some carry down towards the Brooklyn side. Right, I'm giving away all my lefty secrets. And so, yeah, that helps me just create a little bit of friction at my break point and a little bit of hold down lane. And then I move in from that. Honestly, the optimum idle has been looking pretty fantastic. Most of my matches have been using 2 different balls on 2 different lanes because of topography, but based on that last game, I didn't need to. So the plan will be stay with the optimum idle. And if that doesn't look good, if it looks too slow down lane, then I'll go to some quicker shapes.
You are, first of all, you know that just like all of Shocker Nation was watching this, right? I know you know that. So give them a shout out first and foremost.
Always the shocker. Sorry. Got it.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We're woo shocks, right?
And but with that, so now you're going to enter this uncharted territory for yourself. But you've got so many resources of people to rely on and talk about this TV experience. What are you looking forward to once you enter that atmosphere tomorrow?
So the time that I bowled on CBS was in the 2007 ITCs. And it was like floating. I can't even tell you. That was like the most present I've ever been. I didn't even know. I don't know if that's present. Like I almost had an outer body experience. I couldn't feel my feet. I didn't know I let go of the ball until I saw it rolling down the lane, but they were such magical, fantastical shots. And so I'm just looking forward to that. Like that feel, that presence, and really enjoying the experience because I don't know, I don't remember who I was talking to earlier, but they said every Hall of Famer I've ever talked to, you know, they talk about their first TV experience and like not even remembering anything because they're so serious or all this.
And it goes by very quick.
Goes by so quick. Like how can I be extremely present? That's the real plan. Yeah, everything else, ball motion, it'll take care of itself when you're that present.
When you mentioned the just kind of playing off body and instincts in that sense, did that help eliminate any kind of nerves that might have wanted to creep in as well?
1,000%. And okay, so there's some kooky like woo-woo type things that you can do, right? One is tapping and breathing exercises, right? So from a yoga perspective, whatever, like I'm going to have to figure out a way to do this on the TV show where my face doesn't look crazy because I would inhale and then inhale some more and then inhale some more and then inhale some more and then you hold it and you let it all go. And it like, it's a big release of whatever you're holding on to and then you just stay grounded.
Wow. I love it. We were talking about just your joy this week. It's been evident. This is the best. There was one game in particular you shot 230. It was sometime during qualifying. I thought it was the best professional game that I had ever watched you bowl. And that has been true all week long. So congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, it's been such a pleasure. Felicia, one last message to the people watching back home ahead of your TV finals tomorrow.
Can I scream?
Sure. Absolutely.
Thank you, everybody, for all the support. I cannot tell you how much I could feel that love, even though you're not here physically. Thank you, obviously, to Storm, my sponsors, Turbo, High Five, New Look Pro Shop, you know, all these things. And just, you don't get here alone. You really don't. And so my coaches, you know, all of that. It's been really wonderful to have good people in your corner.
Well, it's been fantastic to call your action. Felicia, best of luck tomorrow. We truly wish you the best.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
The TV finals at 6 p.m. Central Time on CBS Sports. The 2024 USBC Queens all comes down to 5 individuals. Hope Gramley, Kelly Kulick, Jillian Martin, Felicia Wong, and Lindsay Boomershine.
Boy. Man, that was fun.
Emil, that was a great time.
It was fantastic. The 4 for 3 never disappoints. We just talked about that. But this time around, I mean, it went down to really about frame 7 of the final game. You know, Jane Sin's look was completely gone. It looked like she had made a move right and thinking maybe she can find a way to double and then split on the left lane, and that was pretty much the end. You heard the joy, obviously the excitement. We were talking about that, describing Felicia's mindset and look all week, and she displayed it and obviously talked about it in her own words just a few minutes ago. Jillian Martin can go out and win this thing as well. She is certainly the future. We've been watching Jillian now for many years at this point. A collegiate star, the youngest player to ever win a PWBA title, and now she could add a Queens Major Tournament championship to her resume, and she's not even out of college yet, folks. She's about to start her junior season at Nebraska.
It's crazy when the future quickly becomes the present, and that's Jill Martin.
That's where we are. Your number 5 seed, of course, your defending champion. It's rare that we get the opportunity to have the defending champion back on the show. And Lindsay Boomershine will have the opportunity to become the first player to defend a title, a Queens championship specifically, since 1982. The number 2 seed is the legend, one of the GOATs of our sport, Kelly Kulick, trying to become just the 3rd person to win 3 Queens titles. She's got multiple runner-up finishes. She will be the number 2 seed. And speaking of the future, the Rookie of the Year last year, Hope Gramley is the number 1 seed for tomorrow's telecast. This is her 2nd Queens show in 2 years. No, I'm sorry, 3. In 3 years, Ben.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Any way that you cut this cake, history is forged,
Absolutely.
and professional women's bowling becomes even more electric and even more exciting.
This is great. I mean, it's such a great show. You've got the best of everything. We talk about youth. We talk about certainly history. We're talking about Kelly Kulick, still a legend, still getting out there like Liz Johnson. Those are the two, legends I think that are still out here doing it and being active on a regular basis. And Kelly is back on the show. And then we get to see someone we've never seen on television before at the professional level, and that is Felicia Wong, so vibrant in that opportunity. And of course, Lindsey Boomershine gets back on the show after the first 2 days of qualifying, Ben, for Lindsey, right? If you recall, we talked about it a bunch. She did not look like herself. Decided that she was going to be a bit more spicy or spicier on day 3. Had a great block, and I think that really was the turning point for her. She did not want to be 64th. She did not want to miss qualifying and finish in the 70s and be handed the 64th spot. That's not what she wanted. She went out and bowled well, bowled great on day 3, and made the moves up, and then, of course, making her way through the bracket.
Sometimes I think everyone should decide to be spicier.
Spicier is the way to go.
They can't.
I'll say one last thing about Jillian too, right? She lost her opening match in the round. So I believe the number is 7 or 8 consecutive matches in the Contenders bracket that she had to win to get to the show. So Jillian bowled the most of any player at this point. So shout out to Jillian in that regard.
And then when you factor in that Jillian Martin was the number 2 seed from qualifying,
Yep.
so she had the heights of qualifying, immediately the depths of match play, and like you said, the scenic route to now being on the TV finals.
It's incredible.
I really cannot wait for this. 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. The voice of the PWBA, Emil Williams Jr. Any last words?
No, man, it's a pleasure to meet you. Opportunity to work with you. This was fun, and thank you for sharing some time with us, and thank you for having the opportunity to be involved with the PWBA. Your first experience on this tour, how was that from your vantage point?
Absolutely loved it from all of the bowlers in terms of high level, in terms of personality, and obviously the work environment was pretty fun, save Ben Glasscock ruining every 300 game that we had outside of a couple. Well, we'd like to take a quick moment to thank the United States Bowling Congress and USBC Board, our gold partners, Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the USBC, I Am Bowling, powered by Logo Infusion, Lane Talk, Storm Products, and Go Bowling. All of the competitors that are on the TV finals or bowled in qualifying or made it through match play, thank you for the electric action that we had the pleasure of calling. And the fans, the community that's tuned in all week long here on Bowl TV. Make sure you tune into the pregame tomorrow. We will have that. That'll be the last Bowl TV coverage. I believe Emil and myself will be bringing you that. Breakdown, some predictions, some results before we get into that. 6 p.m. Central Time on CBS Sports. For all of us at Bowl TV, Pat Martinez, Ben the Bane Davis, Emil Williams Jr., thank you and good night. Remember, on Bowl TV, bowling lives here.